Okay, welcome to April, Microsoft 365 Adoption User Group. I am your host, Kirsty McGrath. This presentation is actually available for you after the session. The recordings do go live up onto my YouTube channel, M365 Adoption. If you're needing to get into the Teams meeting for whatever reason, at any point, you can just go to aka.ms, then you go /M365UG. So in terms of getting ourselves up and running and started, so welcome everyone that's actually online and welcome to those that are in the room with us today. I know that we'll have we have a few people that are coming along, so they'll be here. We do have food for those that are coming in person. This is a recorded session. I should double check and make sure that it's still recording just in case. In fact, let me just double check because I know that at one point, yes, it is. It's definitely recording. Excellent news. Had it in the past where it's dropped off for whatever reason. We've been having some fun, but it is recorded and available on the YouTube channel. I do ask for those online, can you please keep your microphone on mute? If at any point you do have a question, you can actually go and type it into chat for us. So as part of our chat, you can go do that. You can also raise your hand if you want to come off mute so that we don't get a lot of noise into the recording. So at any point, you can turn on your closed captions for those where maybe English is your second language and or you don't understand me with going so fast. Go to the ellipsis button, your three little dots, go into language and speak and go show live captions. Now, I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting from today. We're on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation right now. And I would like to pay my respects to elders past, present, emerging, and I extend that respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander peoples who've joined us. As part of the user group, I please ask that we are aware of others. We be kind, respectful, understanding. We're all open to the different viewpoints that actually come along with the technology that we're dealing with. Then we're also kind and considerate with others, and inside our chat, can we please use the appropriate GIFs and memes as part of the session? Now, as always, I like to do a bit of a what have I been up to. It has been a huge month since I saw you last. Huge. So what did I do? Straight after I did the user group, I trooped off and went to New Zealand. It started with just a little bit of a holiday. My bestie and I off we trooped. So it's my bestie in the bottom left-hand corner. And we went and saw a bit of New Zealand. We went around the top of New Zealand. We went first to the Hole in the Rock. We had the dolphins playing with us when we were out on the boat, which was beautiful. We did the haka. We went to Hobbiton. And as part of Hobbiton, I finally got to be tall for once. Or you could be really short, whichever you choose, because they got different sized doors. Me being the baker that I am, as you know, I decided I needed a photo in front of the bakery stand for the Hobbit. I had to actually bend down for that, so which is unusual for me. I also got to write all my notes home when I was in one of the Hobbit houses. I got to sit down there like Bilbo would have and write my messages home. Got to see the lights. We did the buried village. We did the geothermals, and I decided that my phone should just shut down with the heat. It was so hot, but had a lot of fun. And the reason I was actually over in New Zealand was because I was there for the Digital Workplace Conference. I was presenting at DWC in regards to the Change Champion award-winning program that I had actually run. So cool part was sort of getting together with lots of people as well as MVPs whilst I was there. And Jeff, you're in here. So hello, Jeff. Did you happen to take a photo of me on stage? Because that's the one thing I don't have. Took photos of everyone else, but didn't get one of myself. It's always the way. It's hard when you're on a stage. You can't get a photo. So catching up with everyone at the conference. I was only home 2 nights, so I stayed on New Zealand time before I then decided I would flip off and go to the MVP Summit in Seattle at the Microsoft Redmond campus. It is a huge week, huge week. And the reason that's a bit of a huge week is because they put all the what's new coming. I have to assimilate that. I have to think about what you guys want, my clients want, what I know, what are the problems, see the gaps, and be able to put your hand up all in the space of a blink to then go, hang on a second, and what are we going to do about? You're a good MVP if you bring up something and the rest of the MVPs in the room go, yes. might have happened a few times. And so here I am, my name on the wall. There's a big wall of all the MVPs and RD. So just to prove it, I am actually there. So that was a photo. The photos down the bottom here, the very first one on the bottom is the women in Microsoft 365 that were on campus. That is me after I literally ran across the whole pavement going, I'm coming, but my little legs are only so short. So I did some entertainment for everyone. And over on the right-hand side are the APAC MVPs. So we're all getting together. Up the top on the far right-hand corner, our community manager is in there, in Mr. Clippy. So we all wanted a photo with Mr. Clippy. And the gentleman I'm standing next to is the Vice President of Cloud and AI, Scott Guthrie. So he very kindly came down to my level. I can't go to his level. He needs to. I often say to people that are tall, I go, bow down, peasant. I couldn't do that to Scott Guthrie. Also with Caruana. So Caruana heads up the customer advocacy team. So I was over there fighting for us as champs, change managers, anyone across this change and adoption space, and having to talk to her around what we're actually seeing. I was also, that's with Sharon Connolly, who recently presented, and was also on the panel. So we had a lot of fun over there. And I was very privileged to be invited to be able to talk on the panel for the Microsoft Reactor, because I've been dealing with the Reactor since it opened in July 2018. So Michael and the team invited me to be on the panel. I may have been running for that one late too, bounded up on the stage and managed to get there just a little after time. This is a picture of me with Mark Cashman, who's a senior product manager for SharePoint. He had a lot of socials that went out with me, and my stickers, which I have now put my infographic onto stickers. I actually individually handed out, not even on a table, 300 of them with people wanting them. They're very popular, so I was a bit surprised by that. Feel free to have one in the team. This is me with a bunch of us that live and breathe OneNote. We were very lucky to be able to get from the OneNote team some cool OneNote purple hoodies, so we were rather excited. And that is me in front of the MVP sign having some fun. There was a lot of fabulous people that were actually there. A lot of amazing women in tech, and as part of being in that particular environment, it was really good to be able to connect and look at ways that we can help each other moving forward in this environment. So let's see if it takes a moment for it to kick over. So me getting off, mechanics. So these are some very big faces out there and fabulous MVPs. You might even recognise a few along the way, both Australian and international. As I work my way through some fabulous faces, so many great women. When I was there in 2018, you could count the women in the room. It has really shifted, and it's fabulous to see so many amazing women getting recognised for their contributions in the industry as we work our way through. So we've had some of our community managers and having a bit of fun wherever we can. And that was my roomie, so Bronwyn. She is a regional director from Queensland. Now, yesterday went live. I gave you a bit of a teaser last month with my cake decorating, things like that. I had a submission into the International Cake Show for the Curiosities and Oddities. This is a hand-carved skull piece. It's now all up on socials along with every other contributor from all around the globe. So I've got that out there. So that's what I've been doing in the cake space. But the cool part about being at Summit and the work that's going on, Satya is now recognising change management. This is the first time we've ever seen it go up in lights. So Copilot and all this later stuff, it's all about training. It's all about change management. This is now the time that if you really want to reinvent yourself, guys, it's now. Now is the time to do it. Okay, getting yourself up to speed and working our way through. The wheel, of course, with this latest update, which I did present last time, at any point you can get down the latest one from to the bit.ly link. So I always just turn that microphone off so it's not noisy. There we go. So in terms of the what's new for adoption, oh, look, boy, I mean, the one of the things that has kind of been said is, there's a lot of Copilot. Well, so yes, it's the latest. So when it comes to adoptions, what's all the content that's going up on the adoption side? A lot of it's Copilot. So when I go through the what's new, there will be some stuff because there are other things that are actually coming. It is embedded right across the whole ecosystem, wherever you go. So if you're not playing around with it or you're not getting your head around it, I would highly recommend, because whether you stay in the organization you're in or move to the next one, it's a good idea as change managers that we get our head around it as fast as we can. Okay. So one of the things that I have been talking to Microsoft about since August last year was the fact that our very own scenario in terms of change management plan, you could not download it. I've spoken about it every single month. It took me physically being there in person in Seattle to go, here's what I'm talking about. Oh, we can fix that. That night it was done. It was fixed, literally. So it took me being literally on the ground, one of the joys of being an MVP over in Seattle. So now in the change scenario, you'll be able to go in, and there's a PowerPoint that sits up the very top of that particular scenario. It's underneath operations. So it's an operations scenario. Let me go back, get my pen, work for me, recognize. And of course, it doesn't want to recognize my pen on the screen. Come on, give me my pen, my pen. There it is. So you download that presentation and then it gives you this document. So it's kind of that, how do you do it? It's not the day in the life of as such, it's the scenario of how you would actually use it as a change manager, okay? It does list it out and you've got other content running down the left-hand side. So in the release notes, what have we been up to across here? Now, there's a few things I didn't go into or touch on. Some of it, the way the adoption team is working, and after having a chat with them, is it's going across a lot of different areas. It's bringing in technical adoption as well. Sometimes, we're not necessarily across or need to know about that technical. We sit more often than not, the end user or help desk journey. We're not on the technical. So I'm not bringing the technical content in, okay? Unless I find something inside that technical document, because sometimes you do find just a little bit of an end user piece. And I've talked about it in the past, go inside that doc, ignore the rest, but that's really cool. Okay, so wherever I can, I'll tell you. The new Chat Channels ebook that's actually come out has a whole heap of pages in there of how to actually work and use the new experience. Tons of end user. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You may, however, want to bring in your own customized pictures if you need to, but I do particularly like the new layout and the way that they're actually doing it. It was quite a nice, clean space on the screen. So from an instructional design perspective, and of course, Microsoft have got a lot of behavioral, specialists and how people work and walk through. I went, oh, I like this new look and feel. So that's right throughout it. This is all available for you as well afterwards too, the presentation, and you'll be able to scan the code soon. So we'll save you having to take pictures. So I'll bring the QR code back up at the end. In the Accelerate Value with the M365 Copilot, I don't know if you remember, but 2 months ago it was broken and I said you couldn't download it. It has been fixed and you now can download it. So I got the team to fix that up for us because it had information rights management around it. Makes it very difficult for us to pull it down. So if you have watched the video, you can now go back and you can go get the download. There is a new AI readiness wizard that's available to be able to help and walk you through getting ready. Now, in this wizard, I just did the whole early stages, have no information, no knowledge, no this, no that. I just went no on everything. And then what it did is it then just went, your readiness score is a little low. And these are the steps that you can go through to then get yourself ready. So I do like the AI readiness wizard. So there was a few things in terms of the roadmap. The February recording has actually gone live. It's taken a bit, I think, with all of the team being away. I was kind of hoping there'd be a little less on the what's new because I was starting at the airport, on Sunday, whilst I was between going from LA to coming home, and then spent all hours yesterday, rather jet lagged, finishing it till about 11 o'clock last night. So it was only about 4 a.m. in Seattle when I finished. So if I get a little language tripped up, it's because I'm battling some jet lag. Microsoft at Mondays is always out there. So the new feature that's come in is just on the main page. Did you miss it? So it makes it a really quick, easy way for you to be able to find the latest one if you're wanting to. You can, however, go over to the YouTube site and you've got them all listed out there if you want to look at the Microsoft on Mondays. They do sometimes slide into the more technical with Caruana and Heather, considering their advocacy group, but there's often little bits and pieces throughout if you're watching it. Their Viva Masterclass, which I've gone through and I've shown you, we had the first couple. So each one of those, each one as it's recorded and it's getting up and going live, they've pretty much done the vast proportion bar the very last one, which is analytics, and that's actually coming up very soon. I think it's the 7th of April, if I remember rightly. We haven't got live yet the recording for these ones. They've only just been done, so I'm hoping they'll be out there soon. But the data analytics is on the 7th of April. They do it in the 2 time zones. So if you're wanting to watch it, I highly recommend. If you miss it, however, those recordings are available. So all those recordings, so week 1, 2, 3, and now 4 has gone live. So we don't have 5. As I said, it's just happened. And number 6 is about to come in next Monday. Well, it's kind of, yeah, Monday, Tuesday, kind of our time. Okay. Some of the new features that have rolled out to town halls, if you're dealing with town halls, it is usually, and you'll see in some of the research on one of the pages I bring up, it's now become the #1 place where people are going to get their information is in a town hall, right? It's interesting. There's been a real shift and change is town halls. There's a new SharePoint site page that's come into play that's all about the modern employee communications at Microsoft, so with Microsoft. What I particularly liked about this was there is running down like the whole page. So this is the page. I'm going to work my way through the page. It's collating everything together for us in one spot. So I do particularly like it. Now, some of this is new, some of it is old, but I'm going to go through all the various links to help you out. So the very first one is the Learn. So it's all the Learn documentations around communicational piece and guidance. So that's in Microsoft Learn, stepping through as part of the process. The very next one is about the intelligent intranet. Now, this here is a new page that's actually come on. One I'd recommend going in where it works its way through, explore, align, implement, engage, lots of click-throughs off the back of that to be able to support you. The next one is the executive and ask me anything, and it's got a presentation in there that I particularly liked as part of the playbook. Now, this is one that came up that we did look at a little while ago. This lady here who's actually presenting is has moved over, so she is no longer under this particular banner. I got to meet her whilst we were over there. She is looking after the new Outlook. That is one strong lady. You should have seen all the MVPs in the room. Very calm, lovely. So next page, let's go to the next one. Radio. Another one that's come into play is the virtual playbook. Now that has been around for a little while. There is some tweaks and information that's going in there all the time. So I always recommend that you kind of come back to it. And with town halls and virtual events really starting to lift their game, you can work your way through all the different ways that you can set up and get through an event, okay? Sorry, it's a little noisy. We might need to close the door, okay? Now, this new employee survey campaign playbook, I particularly like this playbook. The information that was in there, I highly recommend going in and walking your way through it. Even if you're not using Viva, I still like some of the knowledge that's in there, things that you can even copy and paste and utilize in your programs, okay? So whether you're using Viva Engage or not, the survey campaign playbook is really good. Maybe you're doing your own Microsoft Forms surveys or things like that. So it's got kind of that campaign ebook in there. The next one, this has been around for a little while. It is the frontline workers. I have reported the fact that the video is not playing on the screen. I reported about 5 different things at the moment. So it's just, I got a nice long list of can you fix? Because I trawl literally the whole site and all what's new every month. Next one is deploying Viva Engage inside Microsoft. This is the 3 chapters on their inside track blog. I quite liked how they've actually laid out the way that they deployed it. Now, this was only rolled out in February. It was one that I missed last month. There's so many different places. I'm pretty certain I didn't put this one up. I could have, you never know, so much goes out there, but I'm pretty certain I hadn't. So it's a step-by-step guide for using then Viva inside your company. So go and have a look through. Now, remember, this is all plated together now under the communications page. The next one, this is one that I did bring up. This was last year. Digital improves your employee experience. So it was available on the inside track. So I talked about it back, I think it was in December, I talked about that one. I particularly liked this video. Now, it did go up 10 months ago, and I did touch on it, but I'm going to come back around to it. Because in the employee experience side of things, and when it comes to communication, there's been a big shift up and down in regards to the ways that we speak with our audience and what's being recognized in our audience. So the two things that are really shifting is Viva Engage has really gone up, and the AMA, so the Ask Me Anythings. People are loving that. They're doing all this kind of sentiment analysis and all sorts right across all these industries. What's going up, what's going down? Town halls is still up there, kind of as number one, but it's reducing down in favour of the more community conversations of Viva Engage. So there is some real shifts happening as to what people are getting used to, I suppose, over time as we roll out this technology, education, and knowing where to go to have the right conversations. So I think that will be where we're starting to see some of those shifts in the analysis. Okay. The prompt gallery is in there. That's one we've talked about plenty. So they popped that one in. The scenario library is in there. This one that we know. I do like the Copilot enablement with Viva. This is one that I've talked about previously as well. From there, a brand new video series has actually come out. It's called First Fridays. It's about AI for communication. So this is a new one. The very first video only went up a couple of months ago. You'll notice there's one that's there from 2 weeks ago, and it's about comms conversation and applying AI in those comms conversations. So one for you, Kimberly, after speaking here last month as well. Do like this one. I'm going to really keep an eye out and see what flows through, because I think that there'll be some real value on First Friday videos. Okay. Now, moving over in the Copilot Analytics place, there's a new PowerPoint presentation that's come into play around accelerating risks and compliance discussions. Now, some of this is technical. Okay, it's one of those ones where I found a document and sometimes it dives into certain areas, but it does talk about the analyst. It does talk about the different roles. Now, within this, there's some really good content for us as a change manager when it comes to the stakeholder benefits, risks, and mitigation. This is the different employees. This is just one of the pages in there where it goes the benefits for a business sponsor, for an employee, for example. So if I kind of, zoom in on some of this for you. Let's zoom it in. You'll start to see it's got some really good content in there for us to be able to draw on in the change space. So it's like, what are we looking at and what are some of those outputs? Another page, let me go because it's got a new one that's come into play as well. And it's the advanced analysis examples with Copilot Analytics. What I loved about this was it actually gives you 2 pages of all the different things that you can actually do as part of the analytics. And then it gives you examples as to some of those outputs and what you could be looking for. Okay. So if you're not sure what you're getting with your Copilot Analytics, this is the document you want to go into and start to go, okay, this is the tick list. These are the things we're going to focus on when it comes to that journey that we're trying to measure, because it's no use, as we know, for us in the change space. It's no good unless we've got something as a base analytics to be able to then measure against. Otherwise, where did you come on your journey? And you've got no way to be able to prove any ROI in any kind of a figure as we move our way through, especially for those that have had it even for a year. And they go, okay, now we need to do like Suncorp. They didn't do anything. What did it look like after we already had it for I don't know how many months? And they go, okay, now let's see if it makes a difference when we do training, for example. What is that baseline? What does it look like after? Underneath the team's phone overview and the phone user persona has come into play. There was a video that went out, and in that video had some really good telephony. So if you're rolling out UC and you're dealing with telephony, then you might go in, and then it's really just jumping all over the place. Right, now let's go back. Pen, my pen doesn't want to work. Let me get my pen back. There we go. So here it's got the personas. And as part of those personas, you zoom in, you'll see executives, admins, reception, basic information worker. So it's got the persona. These are the features that they might actually like. And then each one of those personas has a page as well to be able to help you look at what it looks like when it comes to phone. We haven't had a lot of phone stuff for a really long time. And I've been harassing the team for ages going, where's all the team phone stuff? The fact that we've now got something back is really cool. I do like it. Okay. There was a blog that had come out, and as part of that, in some of the content, I think it was back on the, there was a link in there that came into this particular piece. Now, what I did like was, this was about the Microsoft legal team rolling out SharePoint agents. I know you said you wanted to get into the agents and the Copilot, but there was some good research in here. If you're trying to convince or work or help with it, you'll see here that it's gone that participants only found the answer 83.3% of the time, but using agents, they found the answer 100% of the time. That's it's not a big shift, but it's enough for people to be frustrated and think things aren't working, okay? And that frustration often takes down our programs. So working with it is great. The next one was confirmed. Participants found they had under 1 minute, 46.7% of the time, but then confirmed answer in under 2 minutes, 100% of the time. So this then was on average 2.9, nearly 3 times faster in the response by using a SharePoint agent. Right? The fact that you get your answer back that much faster, I think, is a lot of value. Everyone's time is too precious because, frankly, if it's pain, it's time, and time is money, as we know. Go in and on the Viva Amplify page. So there are all the Viva campaigns and things that you can do, but there's a new guide that's come into play that you can go and download. And in there, there's one, it's got a pre-built kit if you haven't rolled out the Viva Amplify kit to be able to push out AI, because it's got a whole kit around Copilot. But what I particularly liked in there was this success pyramid. I liked the success pyramid. It was a really good diagram and something that's really quick and easy in the presentation that we could drop into our own around that journey and helping people on the journey. So in here, I'll just zoom in a little for you, you'll see systems health. Are they healthy? Change management, enabled and motivated, through to the, are they using it? Are they happy? Business processes. I thought it was a really good one to be able to work to be able to support based on those lagging or leading indicators. Okay. The SharePoint agents has a scenario playbook as you work your way through. You can have a look through it. It's got even how to set up your, keeps wanting to drop off, how to actually set up your communications agent here. So it gives you a step-by-step of how to do it. If you're not sure, there's quite a few in there, by the way. So it's how to set up your own agents and the benefits of doing it. So it's got a page around what are the benefits, and then it's got another page on how to do it. Over in Microsoft Loop, there is a new page that's come into play on Loop, a whole new page around Loop. So this is about Copilot in Loop, the new SharePoint site on Copilot in Loop. So some of the content you're going to find is, one, go to the Loop Learning. So if you're rolling out Copilot, one will have to kind of lift some of the skill sets, because most people don't know Loop in the first place. So you might need to do a bit of training. Then there's the Copilot inside it. So there's the page it leads to. It's got a video and then some of the benefits and a step-by-step as well in terms of Copilot pages and chat. It goes how do you draft content? It's got a video with all of the step-by-step underneath it, some of the learning in there for you. The prompts, go into the prompt gallery, and then the getting started. So this is that getting started in Learn. Okay, so it's got some content it's brought together. Over on the M365 blog, the one thing I liked on the blog, there was a boost your productivity with Copilot, and over on the right-hand side, so as you work your way down through the page, there's some really good prompts in there. We're getting a lot of really excellent kind of articles that are coming out on Tech Community where it's all about different prompts. You might want to go in, if you don't have a OneNote book or in whatever way you're keeping your prompts together, this one is specifically around communication and collaboration. Go and grab some of these prompts, guys, because it will actually help you as part if you've got trainers on the call, or even you're building communications. There's some good prompts in there to be able to work with. So these are the, the prompts that they use for all these different areas. Okay. Another one is in the tech community blog was for the neurodivergent marketer. Now, Kayla had one last month and I brought it up for you. This is a new one and I've taken a screenshot because you can see over on the right-hand side here, some of those prompts were really good. So from a neurodivergent individual, it's like create, precision questions. I'd like business connections with somebody. How do I do that to work with this type of a person? And so I do like some of this in terms of being able to cut and paste and reuse. Microsoft have got webinars that are coming up for customers. There are different ones in here. So there are most of these, though, of course, are in US time zone. But what you can do is register. If you've registered, you'll then get the recording and the presentation they often have, and you can come back around. Even if you don't watch the recording, you can always do the transcript, have a quick read through, open up the presentation and get the pages you like. So what I love about all of these series that are rolling out is the output that we're getting from it, even if you can't be there, because we've got so much content to be able to help and support. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, guys. It is here. Okay, the teams are being really good. If I look at back when I first started these user group 9 years ago, we had none of this. If you were with me and you've been with me on the journey from the beginning, Melinda, I know you've been with me from the beginning. Quite a few of you have. We didn't have this kind of stuff out there. So Microsoft have got much better at pushing it out for us. In the What's New with Copilot blog, you can go through and have a little bit of a look as to what's actually happened. There hasn't been much of an update. This did come out on the 1st. What I did like was on the Viva Insights blog, that advanced analytics playbook. It's actually got a bit of a, how-to diagram working your way through and diving down. And it was through here that I got some of the other playbook information. I did talk about that a little earlier. So just another page. In the Viva blog, it's got the employee reactions to AI, some of the takeaways from the webinar. The one thing that we're actually seeing is that when it comes to change, there's a lot of change fatigue. We know that there's a lot of change fatigue. There's a lot happening. Then we start adding AI on top of technology they don't even know about. So what we're seeing then is there's been, because there's so much change actually happening, they're saying it's like 8 times. Okay, so it's an increase of +8 in terms of change. We're getting less of their attention. So we have to look at other ways that we can actually get their attention. And so what we're seeing is there's a lot more around, I need to keep grabbing my pen, there's a lot more adopting the top-down approach when it comes to change, even more so than there used to be. But when it comes to AI, we're finding, though, that employees are 2.6% times more, 2.6 more engaged when you actually start to talk AI. They're taking notice, which is interesting, okay? And they're eager to contribute to the conversation. So cross fingers, if you're rolling out Copilot, you'll get most kind of coming in and talking. Now, this one I did talk about. This one was actually based in September last year. It was in a lot of the blogs and everywhere I was going. I was seeing it there as part of looking at that for some of its analysis. So I've just brought it back in again, especially because we keep getting a lot of new people coming in at the moment. So one to go in and have a little bit of a look at in terms of the state of change. Microsoft have put out this kind of Copilot customer cohort. In there is all these different companies and what they've actually done. It's all the stories. So if you need to grab a story and helping you on your journey, this is your page to go to. Okay, so it's got all the different stories and journeys listed out underneath it for the cohorts. Microsoft have got their virtual event coming up. Now, this is in the Viva, so this is that kind of Viva Glint side. Now, unless you're paying for Viva Glint, you're probably not going to be kind of seeing it. However, the content that they're putting out from a people science perspective for us in our community, fabulous. There's some really good content that's coming out of their videos around what does it look like with engaging our businesses. This one that is coming up, it's around that AI transformation, the cohort, so it's the stories. if you want some stories. Now that's coming up, of course, it's going to be at 1 a.m. in the morning, but you can always go watch afterwards. The other one that's coming in, this one is for the AI transformation. This one is the technology industry. There are other industry ones there as well, if you go and have a look at on the Viva team page for the events. One of the blogs that came out underneath Viva, I do particularly like the Viva space just purely because it's talking employee experience, which is kind of where we live. So whether you're using the Viva products or not, have a look. This one is investing in HR and IT collaboration around AI. And over on the right-hand side, it's actually got some of the statistics here that 72% of the IT employees reported their organisation provides all or most of the AI tools they need, whereas only 59% of HR employees reported the same. Okay. And I did a blog not that long ago that I put out around the challenges we're seeing on Copilot. We're handing it to the IT teams. They cannot often articulate that for the business user. We have to stop. We've got to give it to other teams, because until such stage as they understand the prompt and they can stretch it, it's very difficult to take it to the next step, and then we're not getting the value out of it. This is all about the training. I really want to see this go out to more than just our IT people. Okay, because they live in different systems a lot of the time. So we really good use cases and studies, we've really got to try and get it into some of the hands of other people in the business. In the Insider blog, I did bring this one in because I do love the new value tokens that have come into Excel. You only have to put the name in. You can use Copilot, and or you can actually go up to the data tab and choose geographical location. And from there, as you hover over it, you can go, I want the how much is the population? What's the current dollar? What's this? And it just drops it in columns for you. That's really cool. If you haven't had to play with it, highly recommend. I'm really loving it right at the moment. Good for if you're going on holidays too. You can go, here's all the locations I'm going to. Give me all the information. Give me the weather. Give me and it will just drop it all in for you in the columns. I know, right? How cool is that? Okay. Also in the Insider blog is the new people and file search for Windows 11 and what that actually looks like when you're hovering over someone's kind of name. There's all the new people file type thing, as well as the file search. It's a new app that's coming into Windows, so you can see there are these new apps. A lot of times in terms of our Windows environment, trying to get new applications as part of our standard operating environment can be difficult. I'm seeing even simple things like Whiteboard is not there as an app. To Do is not there as an app. If it is not, guys, fight for your end users to see if you can get some of these basic applications that are everyday productivity. So these are two new ones that are coming into play for Windows. So it's the people and then a file search app that are coming into play on a Windows device for Windows 11.
Just check the timing of those, because
This is the Insider blog. Yeah.
It's Insider blog. I don't think they're going to general availability till
for a while, yeah.
For a while, I would say for a while.
Yeah, that's it. So this is in the Insider blog, the things that are actually coming, hence why I said talk Whiteboard and To Do, get simple things like that out. Keep an eye out on it because there's always something new out there. Okay. The Microsoft OneDrive blog is now available on demand if you want to go and see it. These are all of the what's coming, and what will be a little bit further down the track. They usually don't do a blog anymore now. It's inside the video, so you can watch the video to get the latest updates. Go and watch the sync up. Now, this one is a little bit technical, however, because it's talking to the architect, but there's a couple of little things in there that are good towards the end. Stephen Rice, amazing, doing some really amazing stuff across OneDrive and SharePoint, by the way. Really lovely guy. Got to meet him and spend some time with him when I was in Seattle. In the SharePoint blog, the hackathon. Remember last month I was talking about the hackathon? Go and look at the stories. Some of them are really cool as to what they've actually done in the creating of their pages. So I did like some of the case studies who won. There's a video for every single one of them as well. I'll bring that up in just a second. Creating pages in Copilot with SharePoint, it's got a bit of a, how-to, what does it look like for the new piece. The intranet pod zone, TJ Devine, he is rather enigmatic individual, really great. Okay. SharePoint, adopting workflows in lists and libraries. This is a little bit of a video, one to go and have a look, helping you to come back around to some of that content. There is a blog that's come out around agents on the consumption-based pricing, because there's been some confusion around what does that mean in a business if I do agents, and I haven't got it, just everyone's got it, but we're going to do it if they use it. What does it cost? Okay, so that is the information in there.
Is that on top of normal Copilot subscription?
Yes, yeah, on top of, that's correct. Because not everyone has it, because Copilot Chat got rolled out, so everyone can use Copilot Chat, and not everyone has a license, but they're making it that in SharePoint you can have an agent and then drop it into your SharePoint, and then it's a per usage as if you go to use it.
We have $20.
Hang on, there's a question in the audience. Let me just.
So, yeah. So just what I should say. My company has.
You'll need to bring it closer.
$20 per month,
Yep.
which is M365.
Yes.
So if I use this and
It won't cost you. If you're already paying for the license, it won't actually cost you. It's only for those that haven't got a license, and then it's a per consumption.
what I have heard is there is, the bulk subscription, the company.
Yeah.
And there is a free, there's a certain limit. And if the whole organization go beyond that, then you need to.
So hang on. Do you understand what's kind of?
I do, but
Yep.
it's probably a conversation to have.
We might have, you might be, because licensing is can be a complex kind of topic.
Take it off.
So we might take that one particular, because we can dive down and spend a lot of time.
Ends per customer.
Yeah, that's it. It does. These are those videos that I was talking about on the hackathon. There's a whole heap in there. So they're all up. There's 14 videos of really great looking SharePoint sites, and for different reasons, people have won in that space. Go and have a look at the latest in terms of Microsoft Teams. Have a look at what's going on over in Planner, for example. I've put all the links in here for you. Custom backgrounds in terms of Planner, so you can now do your own custom backgrounds to try and help you to identify which planner it is, for example. Over in Excel, I did touch on that one in terms of the being able to do based on geography or whatever that looks like. Another one that I did particularly like that I've dropped in, it's a new formula to be able to trim a range. So if it's got lots of zeros, or for example, you can just trim it off back to your data. So that was one I've dropped in. Don't forget, there's lots of foundational training. You've got your adoption videos, content, things that you can join onto in terms of the virtual events. There is the Copilot Analytics. You can go and register in the Customer Hub. There is the Art of the Prompt session in terms of adoption coming up that you can actually go in and register for. There's downloads that you can actually do. There's a whole heap of adoption series in terms of maximizing organizational adoption. Now, on this one here, the presentation, if I remember rightly, you couldn't download, and I have reported it, okay? Also, this particular presentation, when I downloaded Maximize Organizational Adoption, that one is working. It's the next one that's not. So when I downloaded it, inside there was a ton of really cool pages that even had video snips of how to do it in terms of training. So you don't have to create your own videos on how to do something. It's all embedded in there for you. Some good content in that, okay? This one is the one that's got the issue, the art of the prompt. Can't get it. IRM reported it. Hopefully it'll be fixed soon. You can register for community day sessions, find answers on Microsoft Community, and then in our events and conferences. Starting from tomorrow night at 6 p.m, I am running a productivity series around Copilot. It will be going for 11 weeks. The first 6 are up. Tomorrow night session that I'm actually doing, you can see up on the top right-hand side, hang on, let me just zoom in, come over. The first one is the art of prompting. So I'll run a 30-minute session on the art of prompting. I'll then go into Copilot Chat, Teams, Outlook, Word, PowerPoint. It will then flow into Whiteboard, Loop, OneNote, all of the various areas. I'm doing 11 sessions. They run right through till August every pretty much nearly every fortnight for you. So it's 6 o'clock as a rule on a Wednesday night. So you can go to the Microsoft Reactor meetup. So they're all on meetup, or just go to the Microsoft Reactor site. So if you go onto the Reactor site, you'll be able to go in and register for the different ones on the productivity series if you would like to join me starting from tomorrow evening. I thought I'd better tell you guys, kind of the rest of the world is knowing, but it depends on if you follow the Reactor. If you don't follow the Reactor, you wouldn't know that those productivity series are coming up that I'm doing for them. There's lots of other Microsoft events that are happening around the world, the conferences that are going on all over the place, including, you know, the CollabCons. You can go over, you can do Florida, you can do wherever you might want to go. Okay. All of the where do I find the channel. This is all the standard staff content that I provide for you. My adoption side around 365 Copilot. We've got our ANZ community, all of our sessions that are actually running. Our next session is the first Tuesday of the month. As always, we're holding at 4 o'clock. It is hybrid. We're trying to do more in person. So that will be on the 6th of April once I get back. So I leave in a week and go up to Brisbane. So when I go to the International Cake Show, so I'll have some more to show you. Presentation is available for you. Here is the QR code if you want to grab the presentation. Hopefully you've enjoyed the session. We've gone through it somewhat quickly. The pizzas should be here. I think I've got them for 5:45, so I've got like 4 pieces for those here who want to stick around for a little bit and join for some pizza. I should have said 5:30. Gone through a little faster, so give you a moment to be able to capture the presentation. The recording, as always, will go live on my YouTube channel, and I'll post across all social media to help and support you. So my name is Kirsty McGrath, for those that haven't realised it and are or new to the session, and you'll be able to find all my information available. Thank you, everyone online. Sorry, you can have some virtual pizza if you like. I'll go out and have a look and see, is there any questions from anyone? Let's just go see. Very good. Nothing. Brilliant. Thank you all for coming along, and I will see you again in a month's time. Are those online?